You know, when it comes to fairness, we're often told that being neutral is the gold standard. But what if that's not actually enough? Today, we're going to dive into why a one-size-fits-all approach can sometimes get in the way of true equality, especially when you're dealing with deep-rooted issues like caste discrimination. Let's get into it. I mean, on the surface, it seems totally obvious, right? Treat everyone the same, and that's fair. But what happens when people aren't starting from the same place? What if some folks are carrying the weight of history on their shoulders? That's really the core tension we need to unpack here.
And believe me, this isn't just some abstract theoretical debate. For a long, long time, students from marginalized communities have been dealing with systemic bias in higher education. We're not talking about a few isolated incidents, but a consistent pattern that causes very real harm and distress. The stakes are incredibly high.
So, to really get a handle on the problem, we have to see it for what it is. This isn't just a string of random, unlucky moments. No, it's structural. It's something that's literally baked into the power dynamics of our institutions.
Okay, and this is a really crucial distinction to make. The issue isn't just about one person being biased against another. It's about what the source calls graded hierarchies. Just picture a system that automatically gives some groups a leg up while holding others back. And that affects everything from basic dignity to getting access to real opportunities.
Right, so if the problem is a biased system, what's the fix? Well, a lot of people's first instinct is to just enforce strict neutrality across the board. But as we're about to see, this can actually be a trap, one that sounds fair on the surface, but really undermines the whole goal of equality. It makes sense at first glance, doesn't it? If caste discrimination is the problem, let's just pretend caste doesn't exist. Create a totally caste-neutral environment where everybody is treated exactly the same. Sounds great, but how does that actually play out in the real world? And here it is. Here's the trap. A so-called caste-neutral policy can end up making things even worse. Because by choosing not to see the structural reality of caste, you're ignoring the very power imbalance you're supposed to be fixing. It's kind of like trying to fix a broken scale by insisting it was never tilted to begin with. You just end up hurting the very people who need protection the most. This all leads us to a really fascinating distinction, one that's at the absolute heart of this whole debate. The difference between something called formal equality and substantive equality.
So formal equality is basically that one-size-fits-all idea we've been talking about. It works from the assumption that discrimination is a two-way street, that every group is on equal footing, and so all you need are identical, neutral rules to be fair. But then you have substantive equality, which is way more context-aware. It recognizes that, hey, society has these built-in hierarchies, and different groups are starting from very different places. And because of that, it actually allows for targeted measures or special provisions to help level the playing field and achieve fairness in the actual results. And looking at them side by side like this, the difference is just crystal clear. Formal equality is context-blind. It treats everyone the same and ignores history. Substantive equality is context-rich. It looks at that history, it acknowledges the different starting points, and it aims for genuine fairness. It's not about sameness, it's about equity. And this isn't just some academic idea. This is literally built into our legal framework. As our source puts it so well, the Constitution does not demand some abstract, one-size-fits-all neutrality. It's actually designed to be a lot smarter than that. And check this out. This really illustrates the point perfectly. If you look at the source text here, it explicitly says the Constitution not only forbids discrimination, but also empowers the state to make special provisions for socially and educationally backward classes. The whole framework is built for substantive equality, not just formal. Okay, so if the Constitution actually allows for this more nuanced approach, how do we make it work in the real world? Well, it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea: accountability. The argument here is pretty straightforward. We need to stop getting bogged down in debates about abstract neutrality and start building concrete systems of enforcement. The real questions should be, how do we make the rules we have actually work? And how do we hold our institutions accountable when they fail? I'm looking at the text here. You can see the path forward isn't to water down the rules to make them seem more neutral. It's actually the exact opposite. The goal is to strengthen them, to give them real teeth. It's about reinforcing the framework, not weakening it. So what does that look like in practice? Well, it means things like creating independent ways for people to file complaints. It means having strict timelines for investigations, being transparent about the results, and having clear, real consequences for institutions that don't comply. This is what a system with genuine oversight is all about.
And this really brings us to the bottom line. You can have the best, most well-intentioned rules on paper, but they don't mean a thing if institutions aren't held responsible for what they do or what they fail to do. Accountability is the engine that makes this entire system go.
So we'll end with this question to think about. What would it actually take to build this kind of deep accountability in our own institutions? It's about moving away from easy ideas about neutrality and toward the hard, practical work of building systems that can deliver real, substantive equality for every single person.